Hey everybody, we're back. Sorry for that little bit of a delay. We had to figure out some stuff. There was some stream issues that we were having, and also hopefully some lag issues. So the stream, the game doesn't look like it did last time if you were here for that game 5. But now we've got another matchup, and this one's a big one.
Yeah, this one's the big dog. BW versus CSU, and CSU for both of these, they're the
They're
team to beat.
they're the top dog in Erie. I
Yeah.
don't think they're quite undefeated in both, but they are nearly in both.
hmm
They are one of the best teams. They're one of the best schools in this league. They have coverage across the board. So, BW coming off that Heidelberg series, again, a game 5, we really need to see what's up. We
Yeah.
really need to see what is going to happen.
And this is really going to test the mental fortitude of BW because you just won game one. Game one went to game. I mean, um, wow, what a pick. I'm sorry.
Match number 1 went
Match
to
number
game
one went
5.
to
I
game
knew what you were
five.
going for. I knew what you were going
Um,
for. Don't worry, big dog.
but so yeah, it can be now. It's like now it can be just crucial. It can be brutal, and now you're playing against a whole other team with a whole other set of skill sets. So now not only do you have to adapt to it, but you have to just make sure mentally you're not cooling off, that you're not burning out,
Yep.
and just continuing to play your game.
Yes. And for map number 1, for the start of this control, we're back on Lijiang. Again, this I feel like is just going to be a commonality that we're going to see this almost every time. This map is so good, and a lot of teams have a lot of prep work on it.
Yep.
But we're going to be seeing the same comp coming out. Boss Baby on that Juno, Plastic T on that Kiri. Great Pippin leading that charge with the Ram, something that we love to see. Space Raccoon on that Cass and the Sim. Going into it, it is going to be CSU playing a very different style than the team that BW faced last time, Heidelberg. Obviously, CSU taking a fast 2, and now since a great
Yeesh.
Pippin, last man left alive, it is going to be the full team wipe for CSU.
Yeah, and specifically the Moira, Mookie with 4 of those 5 kills taken by himself.
Yeah, I say putting a lot of pressure onto BW, and obviously this is a very tough matchup for them. This is going to be all about how well do you use your setups, and Sky going to get taken down by the Yoink, but it is also just going to be this Lucio just cleaning house.
Yeah, this Lucio just did so much work. That is now 2 times that it's been the supports that have been just leading the kills, just popping off for BW. So something needs to change, and it looks like Sky switching over to Reaper to try to influence that change.
Yep. Moving away from the kind of style that they tried to do, potentially going for more of a left side of crunch, but unfortunately it is going to be CSU. They've taken the opening, they found the way to get in, and they are just going to go. It's
Yeah.
going to be a reset called from the rest of the BW players that are alive. Plastic T trying to stay alive, trying to just keep things rolling. But it is now CSU 50% of the way through this, and that high noon is just going to stall out any advancement even more. I was to say, just able to survive his Sky staying
Yep.
around. And Space Raccoon able to get the first for the side of BW, and now potentially starting something. That Coalescence is going to provide massive problems, and so is that so is that Blade. Just Sky on the point, getting contested by the Lucio. When you aren't close, that Reaper is not going to do you much. Sky just trying to survive, getting
Yeah,
jumped here
he's
and
trying.
there, and he's going to be kept alive by the supports. Going to be able to have that, but 83% is left. 85% CSU is sitting on, and they're just playing this gatekeeper as well as they can. And it's just going to be the Genji sitting in the corner, not doing
The
much of
Genji had a
anything.
whole popcorn ready.
Yeah.
Also, if you're BW, I feel like that's just one of things. I mean, one of the things that like you gotta look out for, because even if the Genji had all, I don't think he had. But if he did had all, it's like, okay, he already has that angle, and we just got to be more careful with that. But
Yep.
other than that, Unfortunately, really quick and dominant, 100% to 0.
Mhm. Yeah, CSU are the big dogs in this league, especially in Overwatch, so I would expect this game to be very, very tough. Great Pippin gonna try to make something work, swapping on over to the Mauga, which I think could provide some potential. I think the main issue that you're looking at right now is just now the Genji on that other side. It's a very one-to-one, not necessarily instant counter, but a very, very good
Hmm.
shutdown.
And what you might also be hearing through this wall is,
I don't think they can hear it, but BW is taking on CSU over on the main Smash stream there, and that one, very contested rivalry. Again, CSU top of the league, BW team that is looking to really try and break into that
yep,
space. As we focus on our game, though, Great Pippin trying to get that early aggro, not quite going to find any picks yet, getting big damage
yeah,
on it.
not able to take that one, but trying to get out of there with as much health as he can. Is still alive, but the rest of the team not looking good, and he also eventually gets taken down.
He's going to end up falling, and that is going to be at least the start of that. CSU taking that early control, Sky swapping over from that sim onto the Bastion, trying to just get a lot more of this deeps, a little bit more comfort out, and just trying to mainly have BW find some sort of start that they can get rolling. Unfortunately, nothing quite yet. The Ram of CSU going right past Great Pivot, going for that backline, and now the plays that BW they were looking so good at before, it's just not, it's not looking quite the way that you wanted to. That's 4 dead. Plastic T, last man left alive, getting hunted down in their own spawn.
Yeah,
Able to jump back.
and really to me, like that last one was really influenced by the two DPSs by CSU, Captain Junior and Ender, really just keeping them out as much as possible and just raining so many bullets, especially on the. This is a good wall, by the way.
It could be a very good pick, but unfortunately, it's not going to look like it is. And that window from the BAP is going to prove to be incredibly detrimental. Sky unable to survive. Boss Baby as well. It's a 5-man dead situation for BW. And unfortunately, that's just the way that things are looking.
Yeah,
CSU playing on the offensive, playing for this stall out. Unfortunately,
yeah,
it's not looking like anything is changing. It's looking like the game plan is staying the same for CSU.
yeah, and this is
Exactly that.
CSU's Rams all, by the way.
Yep.
And yeah, just unfortunately, just really controlling that space as much as they can, sending pressure all around, not making sure BW is not getting comfortable.
Yep. Great Pippin popping his ult, potentially trying to make a break for it. The jump from Sky could have been great, but he will get picked off.
Yeah,
And Great Pippin put into a corner. That is going to be map number 1 completed. CSU taking the 1-0 lead.
yeah, and hopefully, like once again, like first, this is CSU. This is an adjustment of what it was against Heidelberg. Heidelberg, all the games were close. But going against then CSU, which has a better record and they have been playing just well overall. And the thing with CSU, they dominated their match.
Yeah,
They've been on a break for
I say
almost an hour.
they've been like, they've had time just to get warm however they want, but then also just spend their time however they want. They've had the ability to really play just, kind of the way that they want. And unfortunately, I feel that this game, at least the way that it looks initially, is going to be more of the same. As I say, as we wait for maps and bans to come back through, I think the only thing that you can ask BW to do is just try to keep like mental composure.
Yeah,
Because again, like I don't like to count us out when we're out, but unfortunately, CSU, especially in Overwatch, is kind of one of those foregone conclusions where you have to look at it and be realistic and be like, listen, this is probably not going to end the way that we want it to. This is probably not going to be the outcome that we are hoping for.
yeah,
CSU is most likely coming out of this 3-0 in Overwatch without fail.
yeah,
I would be hard pressed to find another team that would stack up to them, at least in Erie right now. Um, we've obviously got some great teams across the league that can stack up to them, but I think right now that's that. So BW, obviously, match numbers 2 that we've discussed before. you need to keep your mental composure going into that later game, the game against Mount Union, because things could get dicey. Things could get very, very problematic if you, you know, lose mental going into next.
Yeah.
And to try to keep that mental, they're going to go into Kings Row. They're going to go into their home. It's Scrims Row for a reason. They've got a lot of reps on it, a lot of practice. They know what they can do.
Yeah, and it's just like once again, like these teams, like they're all fighting for something. Um, like CSU, at this point, they're fighting to keep the title of first,
Yes.
and for just like the rest of the Overwatch teams here, I believe most of them are trying to keep up if they are in playoffs or if they're not in playoffs, like BW right now, trying to trying to like slip in through the back door.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was
what
going to say, Mount, I think Mount is like, unless they lose out today, I think they're in. Heidelberg and Heidelberg and BW are the ones that really need to like
close out?
overperform today.
Yeah. Yeah, which is good that BW won against Heidelberg because those were the two teams that needed to prove something. And BW, even though it went to Game 5 and it was dicey, they did it. And still having to keep that composure once again and saying the same word, like using that resiliency, even with this game, just like not only look at this as a learning experience, but like, okay, we take this, we, I mean, we take it to the chin, take it to Mount Union. If slash when we beat Mount Union, let's use it on them, and then when we beat Mount Union, let's take it to LAN and
Yep.
let's see what we can improve on.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be the mentality of one game at a time.
Yes. And now we get into game number 2, hopefully soon, um, because everybody's said that they are ready. So I would like this game to start rolling. As it is, popping into map number 2. Again, Kings Row. BW is going to start on that defensive side. CSU starting on that offense. And again, it's what can you do here? What can you learn? What can you take into that next game?
Yeah.
Because Mount Union is not a pushover team. Obviously, none of these teams are pushover teams. But Mount Union
Or
is
else
the
they
one.
wouldn't be here.
Exactly. But Mount Union is the one that you are looking to take out, that you are looking to take down. And you need to show that you are ready for that.
Yeah, and I think the biggest issue for BW for this King's Row is going to be this immediate first interaction. Because like if you hold your opponents there, they could be stuck there for a while. But if they are able to
Breakthrough
break through
early.
really quickly, then the rest of the map is, at least in my opinion, a bit easier to break through than this initial hold.
This initial hold can really be the lockdown space that you can see. Other parts of the map are, easier and harder to hold, but what you're really waiting for is,
Yep.
you know, you're really looking to hold this. You're looking to hold right here, right now.
Yeah, make them not, I mean, make them stuck essentially. Make them not go anywhere at all. That would be the perfect ideal world. But yeah, in this one, it looks like we are seeing a Junker Queen
Yep.
coming out for CSU. And for, oh my gosh!
Yeah, a snipe out of Boss Baby. Space Raccoon able to get one, but Great Pippin dropping, and now Plastic T and Sky forced into the retreat. Sky is going to drop Plastic T. Last one alive is barely going to be able to make it out, and is going to be able to save their life moving forward. But it sounds like somebody's close on their heels, and it is actually going to be the rest of CSU pushing up, trying to get this early positioning and this early pressure as soon as they can. Space Raccoon able to take out one, but it is going to be this lurk around behind on this top positioning. Great Pippin going to extend up, trying to get some damage, but they are going to chase down both Plastic and Space Raccoon dropping. Sky left on low, and Boss Baby still kicking in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, and once it, like CSU, they're playing like as two separate teams right now. They're having one group flank in the back, which is their tank and their Kiri. I mean, their tank and their Kiri, and then the rest of them just staying on the point, and it has been doing wonders for them so far.
It's giving them a lot of great positioning, a lot of great pressure, and now BW, they really need to try and put a little bit of their positioning forward, which we're going to see Great Pippin really try to do now. Torp Turret on the point is just going to get consistently held up, and no amount of damage is going to get through that, but it's going to be 3 dead. Plastic T and Sky, the last 2 remaining, and Sky maybe trying to get out, but now with that hack is going to be revealed, and now Dead Man walking, 15 health in the corner is just gone, and so is Plastic T. So 3 men back up for BW. Great Pippin, Space Raccoon, and Boss Baby, but they might be dead soon. Space Raccoon getting taken down by that. Great Pippin really trying to stay alive in the corner, will get taken down. Plastic T low, but able to bring themselves back up. And CSU just capturing point number 2.
Yeah.
Halo isn't even close to this 3rd thing. They just are pushing up. They're playing this suffocating playstyle.
Yeah, I was going to say, after all of that, they still just barely got to that point. Like, that's in the main boon for BW of just like the way that BW plays, and it looks like CSU is just playing that, but in a significantly better way, honestly.
Yeah. Able to get the pick. Space Raccoon is onto Zul, but unfortunately going to get taken down. But Great Pippin potentially finding an opening here, able to get some more damage on that, trying to take out this Torb turret and maybe be able to focus on the Torb. The jab is going to connect, and it is going to be that. Now, Great Pippin, last one here for BW, at least for the time being, is going to bring him so low, but is not able to convert or confirm. And now Space Raccoon and Boss Baby have to drop back. They have to play this a little bit closer.
Yeah, and this Kiri's headshots has been really good. Just continually and consistently getting these, and the damage output has just been like another DPS. And now the High Noon is going to take 2, though.
Able to take 2, instantly gets traded out for it, though. So, putting big damage into this JQ and not having anything to is able to do a little bit more, but just not enough. The healing from CSU able to keep them alive for so long, and Boss Baby unable to find it. It's the Torb turret providing so much oversight. And now Plastic T, last one alive, last one able to touch. Sky keeping alive a little bit, but it is going to drop. And that is going to be round number 1 complete here and now. It's going to be CSU taking that 3-0 lead going into the next.
Yeah, and with BW, once again, like, this is still, you might not look at this as winnable, but either way, this is a learning process. There are things that you can adjust to. You just have to try to A, figure it out, and B, just continually try to learn, try to play, try something new. Maybe you see a crack, you see something that you can do.
It's really about finding what openings can you exploit and what can you really get away with. CSU is a team that will not let you get away with a lot, so you want to see and limit test, like, hey, what actually can we try? What is something in the pocket that maybe we've been cooking that we haven't thought there was ever a really good time, and thought, okay, now's the time. It's match time, and this is a team that you know is going to be very difficult. Might as well try something interesting.
Yeah.
Might as well try to get a little silly with it.
Yeah, and maybe even like, because I remember Sky for this part of the map did Widowmaker for a pretty good amount of time before switching, but I wonder if you do the Widowmaker play for this first shot and then switch to Mei, because once again the Mei did a lot of work last time.
Yeah, just to try to apply more pressure, see what you can get away with. But Sky now going for that initial pick, not going to be seeing much of anything. Maybe knows about the player on the far left, and it looks like there might even be a jump on it trying to get that last player, but they will not be found. And Sky now brought down kind of low, electing to stay with the Widow as they go out the window, but it is going to be Great Pippin now trying to isolate this Ramatra, playing up close, not quite hitting his punches. Now trying to do a little bit more chip to get something rolling, so BW can start to roll even more forward.
Yeah, I think for Great Pippin right now, the plan should probably be to attack the support that can't teleport away. So just like, I would, obviously I'm not on the team for a reason, but I would try to attack the Juno. The Juno does have mobility options, but can't straight up TP away like the Kiriko and then go for the DPSs. And just like that right there, like, that was great hard targeting, but still able to get away.
Yeah, and now Sky, last one alive, gonna get
Not
taken
anymore.
down by that carry, and it's gonna be a full reset here for BW. A little bit over a minute bled off that timer.
So yeah, for BW now, for the still on the offensive. Once again, they just need to make something shake. They Cleveland State, not only did they get all the way to the last point, but they did it quickly, and that is going to be the big thing of like that's going to matter for overtime. But for right now, you just got to make sure you make it.
Yep, and an early start here coming out for BW, trying to play a little bit more aggressive, seeing if they can play this position, play this tempo that they weren't really
What a
showing
headshot.
before. Good shots from Plastic T coming out, and the TP play looks like it's actually doing some pretty good damage, giving BW even more now. They are just barely away, and the last player who was playing aggressive now maybe got a little bit too overambitious on that TP play, and that might end up costing them a lot. Great Pippin trying to go for the backline, but stuck between a rock and a hard place. A little bit of extra health, but it's not going to be enough. And what could have been a confirmed point, they got a little bit too antsy, and BW saw that opening, saw that positional play, and just got it rolling.
And that was really smart by their Torb too, but like even right there, like that was a thing of just unfortunately a learning error, but a learning all nonetheless of like okay, I what was it? It was Sky and Great Pippin both going for that top TP and just still not and like the Torbjorn going down instead, and that just blew their positioning.
Yep. And there's another attempt at the TP play, but unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to work 2 times in a row. They went for that very aggressive style, but CSU just ready for it, playing just aware that the backline is a possibility, and as soon as it was open,
Yeah.
they knew it. They were ready for it. Now, minute left on the timer. As I say that Kiri able to get out, and now the jump onto the height is going to be enough, but unfortunately they're going to drop. The Kitsu Rush might be able to provide something, but 2 players dying and CSU dropping none.
Also, just barely, right when he got ult, he died, and that was unfortunate. That was going to be a pretty big play if he was able to capitalize off of it.
It might be usable on this final push, but we are going to be, you know, playing for scraps. You know, you don't have a lot of time to play around. The late game swap from Sky to Genji, potentially giving them a little bit more burst options if they want to try to fast last second touch point. Junoalt going to be coming out as well. It really is a burn everything that you can type of moment, and we're going to see that come out. The Nemesis form is going to force a lot of the players back, but low time. It's going to force BW into a weird position, and the Ramatra ult from CSU going to be popped. Another, CSU confirming another map, a 3 or 2-0 lead for the Vikings.
Yeah, it does feel like a 3.
Well, 3-0 in the map, 2-0 in the series.
Yeah.
And this Kiri, I mean, just getting play for a reason, man. Like, providing so much damage, providing so much just pressure, while still not really lacking on the healing in any way. Really just confirming this game and locking it down for CSU. And now they lead 2-0 in the series. Where'd the marker? There'd the marker go.
You guys are seeing the live update of this chart that you guys might not be able to see. There it is. 2.
I did it backwards.
But yeah, either way, once again, this is our master schedule, if you are able to see it.
Our master schedule. And we may be able to give you another update right now as I see what's going on. BW versus CSU, currently on a last stock situation between Yari Yari and Ryuvi. If you're not watching it right now, you should. And it's a hyper high up air combining with a grenade, not able to kill Ryuvi, sitting at just shy of 160%. Yari Yari only at 50 in the up B out of shield, providing so much value with the grenade pop.
You guys are getting the radio call version of this.
You are getting the radio call of this. I would say the projectiles being thrown.
159 to 70 for Yari, and going down to last stock situation, last hit essentially, because Snake up tilt can kill. Ruby went into this match down 3 stocks to 1.
And now
so Yari just needs to take this one.
It's on that last situation. The sticky could be pivotal. He's going to have the bucket out and use it. He's waiting. He knows what that position means for him. But now Ruby knows. I think the sticky is
I
actually
think it is
gone.
on him.
Okay. This now puts a real big timer on this match. If Ryuvi does have the sticky on top of him, when that C4 goes off, he will just be dead, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
Which,
And yep, it went off. It was on
yeah,
him. Hit his foot.
which means that timing gives BW the 1-0 lead in this match. Did they say they were ready?
Yeah, I saw an R.
Oh, cool.
So
R.
going back to the Overwatch match,
Bringing you back to Overwatch here.
yeah, BW up one. I mean BW down 0-2 in Overwatch, but in Smash BW up 1-0 currently.
Yep.
So we will continue to give you guys updates of everything around here.
All the games that we can. But as we move to push, this is going to be really important for BW to figure out exactly how they want to approach this next map. Obviously, oh, my bad. I thought that was going to hit
Welcome to YouTube.
an edge. Obviously, very hard to overcome a 2-0 deficit. Not saying it's easy, because it never
But
is.
it starts with one.
It has to start with one. And we need to see that start soon. And by soon, really, I mean now.
Like he had 2 games to warm up. This has to be the game where something happens.
Looking across the league, well, first of all, looking at this game right now, we've got a pretty standard lineup, very similar to what we were seeing on that Flashpoint, with a little bit of a mix-up with the Widowmaker here instead of the Bastion.
Yeah, and right now as they are starting to play it out, for BW, once again going for the Boss Baby with Moira, Space Raccoon, Cassidy, Plastic T actually on the Lucio. So I think Plastic T and BW actually banned Kiriko, because once again that Kiriko was doing massive work.
Well, she's not banned. She definitely is in this lobby, but she might be applying. I was gonna say it might just be that for this game mode, saw more value in the Lucio, and Plastic T now isolating the Lucio, able to get the pit, combining with the Boss Baby, able to find that, and now moving and grooving. Yep, trying to find some sort of positioning, looking to combine, but unfortunately the rest of the team dropping. Space Raccoon on that respawn, and the Boss Baby now joining up with the rest of his team, trying to catch the early extending sim. Unfortunately, nothing to be found.
Yeah, and just great job of even like communicating with teammates. Like right there, great Pippin and the Boss Baby combining for that one. And now having to get out of there. The ball actually keeping great Pippin stuck with the rest of the team. And speaking of the rest of the team, they're all struggling right now, and that is going to be another, not team kill, but another reset for BW.
Yep, another set of wipes from CSU, and another force of BW onto the back foot, onto the reset. And now, what we're seeing is, it's a lot like that Kings Row game. CSU pushing up very far, putting BW into a bubble, leaving only one on the point. And although BW, they've been getting more kills this game, they've been able to push up and pressure here and there. Unfortunately, they are not finding much beyond those single kills. They aren't getting big team wins, trying to jump people here and there, but Great Pippin going to get taken out of his mech and now fully taken down. Space Raccoon put onto the back foot, has to play near the spawn, going for the regen as he waits for the rest of his team for another play. It's the Kiri playing up incredibly far, trying to get something rolling, but now it's going to be
that's actually
a Trace as well, but the Trace getting taken down.
Yeah, but that's an insane combination by the Kiri and the Tracer, because usually when you see a Kiri teleport like that, you're like, oh, they just went off to reset with their team. But actually the Tracer was right there, so teleported with the Tracer to just continue applying that pressure.
Yeah, keeping the pressure live and keeping things massive. Now CSU, they're getting closer and closer to that final position. They're able to stave them off now. BW in control of the robot, at least for the time being. But this ball playing right around along with the Tracer, unfortunately, combined with the boop kill, is going to mean that CSU back in control of the robot, back with their hands on this push bot. Moving forward now, it's going to force
Yeah, and
the
now with the
ult out
ult,
of Plastic T.
yeah, just giving them more health, just giving them more ways to just survive at this point because they have just been continually getting pressured.
This Tracer in the backline, something that BW is trying to deal with. The Pulse Bomb, not enough. And now Kiri, without her TP, can be punished here. But she isn't
What a
going to be
Suzu.
able to stay alive long enough to get the cooldowns up. And now Ball, last one close for CSU. And he is going to be staying, still going to be still being a nuisance as much as he can. But the ult coming out from Great Pippin, it's not going to kill Ball, but it is going to apply a lot of pressure onto him, forcing him to move and groove.
Yeah.
And now as BW still takes control of this bot, moving forward. The High Noon trying to connect. It will find one. It will take out Great Pippin as he was demeched. Sky trying to find something will get dropped. And now Plastic T in no man's land gets picked off. To Boss Baby as well. Space Raccoon, the last man alive. Looking for the rest of his team on that respawn. Looking to reset and get one final push coming out. But it's going to be tight. It's going to be tough. And it needs to start now. Great Pippin trying to get some damage on, will not find it as Sky will drop, looking for potentially a last second up of heals, up of that health, but now 5 meters away, there needs to be a touch, and Great Pippin is just there. He's able to get a little bit of stall, but with 4 on him, there is just nothing left for him. We knew this pin would be tough, but we didn't expect it to be this rough.
This has been just an insane push over and over again by not Mount Union, by CSU.
By Cleveland State University.
Making a quick 3-0, I believe.
Quick 3-0.
Yep. A quick 3-0. And even like looking at the speed of it, you could even be like, hey, we got out the way quickly. We ripped the Band-Aid off.
No reason to dwell on it.
Yeah, and just move on. You guys know what the big match is, and
you know what's going to be super important coming forward. And so what needs to be super important is going to be
this is the Overwatch 2 stream.
Exactly that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Alright, so we're going to check
we'll see.
on that.
Yep.
We won't.
No. Oh no. I think I know what happened.
Nobody
That's
flipped
unfortunate.
over the...
Yeah. It happens, it happens. So, we are now going to be hitting a short break here. Obviously, you just saw BW 0-3 against CSU. Final match of the day is going to be up against Mount Vernon. Not Mount Vernon. My God. Sorry, up against Mount Union. My bad.
Bro's been practicing too much Nace.
I guess, yeah.
But either way, yeah, we, like you said, we're going to take a short break. One, to fix the other stream, but 2, just to get BW ready, as we are going to have, this one's a big one.
One more match.
Yeah, it's tied 1-1 essentially on the day. If you win, you're essentially in. If you lose, you have to hope for some miracles.
Yep.
You don't want to hope for miracles.
We'd prefer to be in on merit, not on miracles.
So yeah, this is where you prove it next game, and we will have that game for you in a bit.
When we can. Make sure to stay tuned. We'll be back. And we're back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Final Overwatch match of the day here on the main stream, and it's a big one. We've been talking about it all day,
Yep,
so it's time to
we're
do it.
we're going to need a bigger cast for this one.
We're gonna need a bigger. We call on like 4 other people. That would be
Yeah.
a nightmare.
So they're ready. We're re
Not ready. Hold on.
ready.
We're
Um,
ready.
so yeah, all teams are getting set up. Here's the tail of the tape.
BW Mount Union.
BW going into this 1-1 on the day on the outside looking in. If they win this, they are guaranteed in the playoffs. Mount Union,
I think they're set. I
they are
think
set,
I think with the win against Heidelberg, I think they're set. They are playing for seeding and denying BW.
and both of those things are crucial moments for each team. So both of these teams, this is an important game.
They have stakes. They have true things to play for. And BW now, it's going to be about that bounce back. We saw that CSU game. It was a tough, tough loss. Now, they need to lock in. They need to show up. And it's time for them to truly prove that they belong in this league, that they belong where they stand.
Yeah, and if they want to go to LAN, gotta win this one.
Has to win. And we're going to be already, BW's bringing out the CVS.
Yep,
We're the pharmacy
the
now.
CVS pharmacy coming out. And I'm surprised the other team didn't do it because I thought it was maybe like a map thing. But yeah, just Sky and Plastic T doing what I like to call CVS because it's a pharmacy or pharmacy.
Yeah, it's the pharmacy. Aside from that, we got Great Pippin on the horse, Space Raccoon taking up the Cass, and Boss Baby on that Juno. So I'm going to be very interested in seeing exactly how this all goes down, what exactly are going to be the game plans for each team, and especially with that Junkrat on the board for the other team. How is that going to affect potentially what BW wants to play? Because they've played with a very good Junk before, but I don't know if they've played against a very good Junk before.
Yeah.
How will that affect everything?
Or maybe that practice beforehand would definitely, I mean, maybe that practice beforehand affects how they play against this good Junk because you know what it's like to have one on the team.
You know what you need to stop.
Yeah, especially the phrase "I know a spot." I think
Yeah.
for a lot of that means a lot for a lot of different members on this team.
Yeah. But yeah, the other thing, getting the first pick onto the Alari is Sky coming in on that Pharah. And now that that Zarya bubble is down, it might be time to just hit that go button. And they're low. They're very low. It's going to be Space Raccoon confirming that pick. It's going to be, I believe, Boss Baby just sticking back. Actually, no, I think it might be Plastic T then. Somebody sticking back, confirming BW control of that point, and now they are going to press their advantage, press their luck, and go on forward.
So for this map, all they need to do is just hold this line. This is the line to hold, not back at point, but this big one right here to prevent them from going in. You don't want to overextend because that is how you get out of position and your team dies, but just slowly but surely. But that looks like a full charge bubble, so that is going to get a lot of mileage for the Zarya right now, taking taking 1.5. And the rest of the BW got to regroup.
It is actually going to be Space Raccoon able to take out the Czar, but unfortunately, that is going to still result in his death. Now BW, the man deficit coming into this next motion, so they need to either play above their weight class or they need to go forward. It's going to be Sky taken down first. The Boss Baby able to get on that trade, and now Plastic T unfortunately also getting taken down by that Ana. It's going to be the OC coming out from Mount Union's Sojourn. Going to be applying a lot of pressure, forcing the last two remaining back as they wait for the rest of their team. Plastic T swapping over to that Kiriko, looking to get a little bit more consistent healing coming out. Great Pippin with the Terra Surge, and Space Raccoon up with the High Noon. First pick taken down by Sky, getting that Junkrat out. This might be just the time to hit the Jets and go, go, go.
Yeah, and especially for Sky hitting the
Terra
Jets
Surge
with
coming
right
out, 2 big kills. Czar last alive, getting taken down. It's the point recaptured for BW with 1 dropped.
And just like that, like this is where you could start evening out the point. They have about 3, maybe 4 ults that Mount Union is about to get, but still, you have this point, you just have to hold it, and maybe even let them burn an ult or two, so you can have ult advantage for the rest of, effectively, the round.
But unfortunately, it is going to be that first kill. The Illari ult coming out could be massive, but it looks like it's not going to find much of anything.
Yep, it got Tuzu'd away.
Space Raccoon able to find the first, but this black hole could be very problematic. It's going to result in 3 dead. The 4th and the 5th is Sky back on that rotation. BW able to get a little bit more percent, but they need to battle back and win one of these team fights ASAP. The Ramatra swap over could be big money.
Yeah, this Ramatra has been doing God's work at this point.
I'd like to say this Ramatra has been dangerous, because that man...
It's running in right now.
What he's been doing has just been not allowed.
Yep, the Ana able to sleep him, but he was able to get the... What is happening?
And that's an environmental. And that's BW up in this round. A Zen coming out, a swap from UMU. I don't know what the plan is with this one, but what it is going to allow is Sky to find 2 and a 3rd.
And that is going to give BW a huge, not lead yet, but a huge momentum boost with this point.
They've got so much forced, and the OC is about to come online. So is the Rip Tire. Both level for this, but BW, they're in the driver's seat. They have now taken the percentage lead, and they need to hold this line. Zarya pushing up, going to be the first contact of the team. Great Pippin looking to keep things close, looking to keep things competitive. That OC coming out, but it's going to be the Kitsu Rush, able to get Great Pippin 1. He's going to get taken down. The overcharge on the site, going to be doing massive damage.
It is able to keep healing to keep Great Pippin alive. Plastic T doing amazing right now, just healing all of their teammates, and just both of them, the Boss Baby as well, and just everyone is holding on to this point. This feels like an overtime within an overtime.
It's a pump and dump. They are keeping Great Pippin alive for as long as they can, and it's gonna be the Nemesis form. 1 pick getting found, the time staying alive. Only man left is going to be that Lucio. Sojourn as well, actually, as I'm mistaken, but the Lucio is dead. Sojourn, last man alive, gets taken down. A recapture of the point, and there's just no touch. Point advantage in this map 1 for BW, and if every map's like that, dude, we've got a banger on our hands. Oh my god.
Yeah, everybody check your heart rates, especially after this one, because this one's going to be a barn burner. This one is going to go down to the wire. Both of these teams know how important these games are, and they're going to play like it. They're going to act like it.
I'm not kidding you. I definitely raised my heart rate. I just did a check, and it's way faster than it normally is.
And that's map 1. Not even map 1. That's part 1 of map 1, dude.
Yeah, once again, there's going to be so much more coming out. A whole lot of great gameplay, and once again, this is for the playoffs. So when you're BW, when you see them make these plays, you could feel them. They want this. Like this is essentially season life or death at this point.
Yeah, it is all banking on this early height pressure coming out. No comp changes coming into this second map. UMU has elected to bring a hazard over, which is going to be potentially changing up that game plan. But Space Raccoon, dealing with that instantly, what could have been a problem, is now off the map. And Great Pippin clearing out that site. BW capturing this early and getting it moving from here. Go, boys, go.
Yeah, and then going to take out that healing pylon as well. And yeah, it looks like BW have first advantage, and they just need to keep this up.
Pressure staying on. Sorry,
I was going to say, they have great position all around, not feeling too much pressure, while at the same time covering as much as they can. This Junkrat just really, this Junker Queen literally just forcing herself in, and just a whole lot of damage done to her. Missing that axe though, which proves to be crucial.
Yeah, it allows Great Pippin to get out, and although they give initial control of it, they're keeping most of their players alive. The Boss Baby having to die in the scuffle. And Sky now staying up and running, but Space Raccoon, he's putting his work in, he's putting his weight in, running and rolling, jumping harder than I think he actually could. But that allows Great Pippin to get into the site. To 2v2, Sky and Great Pippin up against the tank and one of the supports of Mount Union. Great Pippin is going to drop Sky. Last man up, close and personal. Going to have to play some CQC with this rocket launcher if he wants to keep pressure. He's going to elect to drop back. Play that time.
And now it is going to continue on 37 and counting compared to BW stuck at 30. There is still a lot of time and a lot of space to give, but crossing with a 50% mark just about now, you have to start getting that point back.
Yeah. Kitsu Rush potentially being massive, but it is going to be this Suffer that's going to combine with the High Noon, get so much damage, get so much pressure, and it's a full re-clear for BW.
That team kill matters.
Yeah, and they keep alt economy relatively even, honestly. UMU only close off 2, BW close off 2. They've got to wait a little bit longer for their final 2 to get up to that 5. But they've got a lot of space and a lot of pressure. If they want to play this long game, they certainly can.
And now, once again, just, yeah, they are holding up just above point and just avoiding big damage. Their Kiri gets Sky out of there. And now Plastic T on really low health, trying to heal, but not going to be able to save him. And this is a great ult opportunity for Sky next team fight.
Yeah.
And gets a kill.
Able to get a kill. That might spark the retake faster than possible. It means that BW is actually going to be up in numbers here coming into this fight. This is going to give BW actually potentially a lot of space. If they choose to go right here, right now, the Kiri obviously playing the Overlook, but still, the rest of your team is up close and personal. You have a lot of ults up, and that's going to be the Juno 1 ripped. It's going to be the play call made. Junker Queen down and out. Healing Pylon dead as well. Erie going to be taken down from the skies. It's BW back in the driver's seat.
Yep, and that is going to be taken point. Mount Union electing to not burn through every player before they get taken down. And that's also a good wall because they can't just stay back as far as they want to shoot those far projectiles. They would have to come close and interact.
It forces them to move up a little bit into the sight lines, and that's where BW's characters can actually start to apply some pressure. They've got the Ilari in the sight. It is going to be that popped, but
there's a High Noon.
High Noon is going to force some very weird maneuvers out of BW. The Kitsune Rush popped, so is the Riptire. Great Pippin down and low. He's going to get taken down, but the double High Noon is actually going to equalize it. Sky with this ult able to clear point, and there's only one UMU player close enough. It's going to be that Junkrat getting taken down. It's control for BW. It's map 1.
Map 1 for BW. This is huge.
This is the start that they need. After coming off of that, that series that we saw earlier up against CSU, it's very easy to come into your next series flat. Taking a loss like that is demoralizing.
But still, word of the day, the resiliency this team has been having, even after this great play by this Junkrat, still able to just continually pursue, continually just play their hearts out.
Yeah. Able to stay in the driver's seat and able to stay within control of the series. This is what we've talked about the entire time. We've seen glimpses of this play in maps gone by. I remember week 1, a completely different roster, a completely different look, but saying I see potential. And now, when it's all on the line, when things matter most, they're able to pull it out and they're able to start things rolling the way they need it to. But the most important part is they can't slow down. This is only map 1. You need 3. You need to play the long game. We saw the Heidelberg go long. We saw CSU be the dominant monsters they are. We need this game to stay consistent and stay in the driver's seat.
And once again, like with the games, how they have been, just for this point, it is just when we talk about the beginning of the semester, I think the only person that was at week 1 that is now here is Plastic T and Sky Sky.
Yeah.
Like every single position got rotated at least once, and even like Sky got rotated out once, but still
Sky was in as a sub on healing because the Boss Baby was sick.
Yeah. So still, like, this team fighting, playing its best, and just If you have a time to kick in, if there's a gear, I mean, if there's a time for you to kick into next gear, this is the time.
It's now. It's now.
And now they ban Ram.
And are going Kings Row. This is very interesting because, as we talked about, Ram was such an important pick for Great Pippin. It was the late game resurgence. It was what allowed them to keep so much pressure in those games where things looked lost. But I don't think we saw it a lot on this Kings Row.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of that Diva play and a good amount of Orisa play. We saw a lot of Horse and a lot of Diva. I can't think of a funny
I was
thing
going
to
to
say
say
for
Gamer
Diva.
Girl.
Yeah, pretty much. But we saw a lot of that play coming out. We did not see a lot of this Rampart here. We saw, or not Rampart, God, Apex. We saw a lot of this Ramatra here and there, but it wasn't the most consistent thing that we've ever seen. It obviously provided pressure where it needed to, but it was not like a necessity.
Yeah, and on the other side, Plastic T and BW bans Ana, so no Ana on the board, no Ramatra on the board. So once again, I feel like I think this is a ending positive for BW. So as long as they continue to keep this up, this should be able to favor BW, and we should be up 2-0.
I can see it happening. I think the Ana ban is very crucial for this because I feel like as soon as you take the Ram out, you take the Ana, you can still play kind of a dive style.
Yeah.
You can still do what we saw Great Pippin doing a lot, which was just jumping backline. Just saying, I don't care where the tank is set up, I am going back. Your supports are going to be right in front of me, and I am going to kill them. And taking the Ana out means that they have less options for your get out of jail free.
Yeah, like that sleep has been crucial just all day, honestly.
Yeah.
That sleep has been crucial in just in general, like the healing Ana does, and taking that away, especially if you're not only diving but recovering against a dive team.
Yeah.
Like that could matter a lot.
It could provide a lot of pressure onto the map that maybe this BW team has not played against. Thank you so much.
Yep.
This Mount Union team is not quite ready for. But now it's game time. It's time to see what the BW squad has cooked up. It's time to see what their game plan is moving into this final match. Well, not moving into this final match. Not moving
yet.
into map number 2 of this final matchup that we have here. And it is going to be a pretty standard setup. I'm a little surprised to see Sky not on the early, there it is, the early Widowmaker, to try to make some early picks happen, to try to see exactly what they are going to elect to go for. Oh, true, yeah, we are on the other side now.
Yeah.
I'm so used to us being the first 5 and not the last 5. But it is going to be this game that will be the that'll really decide the tone of this series. Is BW going to go up 2-0, or is this going to be another Heidelberg barn burner? We will see. Sky looking for the early pressure, is going to get early fire struck, and looking for a little bit of those shots, but is not seeing anything yet. And we could be seeing a swap back off very soon, as it will be the drop.
And the boss maybe getting taken down by the Reinhardt too. I feel like of all the maps that I've seen, this is the map where Reinhardt gets the most use.
This is the Reinhardt map. This is the, oh, your team knows how to play scrims. Do you guys play Ryan? Because if you play something else, it's a very strange and unorthodox comp. But what we're seeing BW do is work that comp pretty well. They've taken control of this high ground incredibly fast, and now they're just waiting on some sort of sign to go. Great Pippin is going to be moving around, going into the backline, trying to go for something fast here. He's not going to find enough, and he is going to be forced to back out to his healers. Able to stay alive, back and forth, but Mount Union really the only ones getting kills. Sky, last man alive, has to dip back. 1 minute off the clock as BW put onto the respawn, put onto the reset.
Yeah, and with that, it is going to favor BW early. I mean, not favor BW, favor Mount early, but continuing on, that is going to be the main thing. Like, Iliari taking down the pylon, making her have to heal in a conventional manner, not just the AoEs, and just working through these, working the high ground, not wanting to scrap with the Rhine either.
Yep. trying to get big damage going. It is going to be Sky dropping early, Space Raccoon as well. Great Pippin able to take one out. Plastic T able to take the second. It's still the tank
What a
alive
call out
for the side of Mount Union, but it is still enough players live that something can be done. One going to be taken down. Unfortunately, the charge is going to see the death of DeBoss Baby.
I thought that hack kept
did.
The Boss Baby alive, but still.
I did think it saved him, but unfortunately not. And now Ryan, last man, well, not last man alive, but one of the last few alive. Sky trying to stay alive.
Yeah,
He's just going to get
Sky was doing work.
Just going to get run down by the Curie, and now Mount has their players back. They have their setup the way that they want it. Sky swapping over to the Genji, potentially trying to play a little bit more fast, a little bit more pace, and a little bit more in your face.
Bars.
But now it's going to be a regroup, a reset, and a play called to Boss Baby with this coalescence could be massive, and he's going to get behind.
Yep, and they don't see it either.
Backline pressure. Instant pick on the Plastic T is going to be massive and important to the outcome of this game, but it is going to be the Alari ult stalling out the play from BW. Great Pippin now on low health. Does have the bomb. Really could use this to change the tides of the play.
Yeah, they have to find a way in, especially with this push.
Yeah, that OC getting popped. The bomb is going to be ripped. It's going to force a lot of restructures of how they want to play, and the remix saves Great Pippin. The Curial coming out from Mount Union combined with the Visor is going to stall it out. 30 seconds left. There's time for one more team fight, but it is not. It is not looking like a great time. Swap back over to the Horse is going to change the play of the game. It's going to change the tides, and it's going to change how BW chooses to approach.
And historically, Orisa has always just done good, period. But especially against Reinhardt, for just being able to overwhelm him. Really, just like this, what we see. And like, even though there's still a lot of healing on this Rein continually being pushed back, and still Great Pippin could play the playstyle of going through the backline, not able to.
But unfortunately, he is going to get taken down. So is the Boss Baby, and now there's so little time. Plastic T just trying to stay alive, but that is going to be the round. No percentage for BW, an unfortunate start to Kings Row, and now they need to hold. They need to stall this out.
Yeah, they need to hold this line if they want any chance.
Yeah.
But once again, BW, this is a best 2 out of 3, and BW is holding the 1-0 lead right now.
Was the best 3 out of 5.
Oh, it's best 3 out of 5, excuse me.
Yeah.
So still, BW is holding this lead, and the worst that can happen is that this is going to end as a 1-1.
Yep.
But you don't necessarily want to force another game 5, because you definitely know how stressful that last one was.
Yeah. And now we're gonna see the Sky May coming out, something that we saw a lot of good on last time. So hoping that that pressure will continue, that play will continue.
And yeah, once again, going with the big standout once again is this May. And on the other side, I'm actually really surprised seeing is Zenyatta. I feel like the Zenyatta and the Junkrat have not been used often.
Yeah, I feel like we see it a little bit here and there, but it is a very, very mixy. You don't see it a lot style, and there is fairly good reason for that. They are very weird characters to be played. But with that Maywall prepped, ready to go, it's just gonna have to be the overstep.
Yeah, and honestly, really good on Mount Union. They scouted the wall out from a mile away. They watched the last game, and they were just like they played everything to prevent that. Yep. So honestly, good on Mount, but overall, I want to see more out of this May, because this May has been doing really well. So when the gimps, when the strategies don't work, how does it do in scrappy situations? That's what I want to see.
Unfortunately, that's going to be all she wrote.
Yeah.
With no offense found, a fast shutdown on the defense, unfortunately, seals the fate of BW in this round. It's currently 1-1 as our map count
Yep, I have a feeling we're going to be here for a long one.
We might be here for a minute, man. I was gonna say, this might be a good old rundown series, something that'll take us a very long time.
As Error updating the scoreboard.
Yep. We've got ourselves BW Mount Union tied at 1-1. For those who were wondering, BW unfortunately falling to CSU in Smash 1-2, taking that early lead, but just not
able to close
quite enough. Along the other side, Mount Union 2-0ing Heidelberg, leaving CSU and Heidelberg to play each other, and Mount Union and BW to play each other. Both those games will be, should be broadcast on their respective streams, and should be happening
soon.
at least relatively soon.
Yeah.
Giving teams a little bit of time to get some water, discuss what happened in the last match, prep for the next. The usual stuff.
But with this one, not the King's Row that you wanted.
No, not really. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you start on that offense. You need to hit the ground running, and if you don't hit the ground running in the map, you just kind of are forced into a position where if you lose first fight, you're done.
Yeah.
Kind of. Just because they weren't able to really crack anything. And I feel like the main thing was it was that lack of RAM. Like, I feel like I don't like to pin it on a single thing, but I feel like that really was the problem. The style of play that D.Va can do and RAM can do overlap, but they are good for different reasons. They are powerful for different applications. So we need to see that those different applications kind of come out. If we want to see that D.Va, we need to see exactly what makes the D.Va so powerful over that RAM. It is a very good replacement, but as we saw the Orisa as well, doing very big damage, being able to still do the backline dives.
Yeah,
that
but
we
it
saw.
wasn't the RAM.
Yeah.
And
this is actually an interesting one. I'm going to be honest.
Yep.
BW going to Runasapi, the push map that they almost brought it back against Heidelberg, which they themselves said was the first time that they had ever played it in an official, so potentially really buying into recency bias.
Yeah.
I'm not against it.
I'm not against it, but I also recognize it as a risk. This can be very risky.
It's either very beneficial or oh god, oh god, oh god.
Yeah, like this could just as easily blow up in BW's face. And I think what BW is even hoping for, like with their quote unquote one game of experience, like holding that over Mount Union, because if you're Mount Union, how many officials have you played on Runasapi?
That's fair. That also comes down to scouting. You kind of have to look at that. They're going to be taking Zen off the board. I think that's a pretty good pick. I'm wondering, one of the Mount Union players is very sad about that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what Mount is going to choose to take off, because what really kickstarted the Runasapi dominance was that last second swap to like pure comforts.
Yeah.
With the RAM back in play. And because that RAM is now online for the rest of the series, we're going to see the Farah ban coming out. I'm not super surprised about. Sky was able to get a lot of very big value off of that, but we also saw a lot of big value from him off other agents.
Yeah.
And potentially even comboing better with the RAM stuff that we saw, what do you call it?
I mean, with Reaper,
we saw good Reaper. We saw really good Sombra combos with the RAM, because the Sombra can give RAM a focus this guy target.
And like that's going to do numbers, especially right now for BW, because you can take any minute advantage you can, and a misplay on a ban is a huge advantage.
So we're going to have to see how this play decides to come out. Is BW going to come out with the comfort picks, or are they going to come out with the style that they kind of had last time, where it was this kind of playing almost differently to how they normally do, something that I was very just against. I like these guys to be playing in a little bit more of I am going to play comfortable style, because they do great work when they're playing in a comfortable style.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this is, because like they started with the comp, and the comp wasn't doing horrible. It was doing well, and once again, like BW was losing hard. I mean, not losing hard, but BW was down, and they had one last push, and everyone was like, all right, comfort pick. And
let's see what happens.
Yeah, and it got the mileage.
Mhm.
So I want to see maybe they try that switch up again. It doesn't look like it. It looks like Great Pippin is going directly onto the Ramatra.
Mhm.
And also the Boss Baby sticking with this Juno even though Moira is on the board.
Yep. I think this might be something where you just make the call in the moment where, hey, I think this might be the better positioning. The one thing that I'm a little interested in is the Sky
Sim.
Like, we've seen it a little bit here and there, and it has done very good value. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm interested to see kind of how they're going to use it, because I don't even think we saw this character the last time that Runasapi was on it, period.
Yeah.
I do like this start out, though. BW playing around the pillars, playing around the hard cover, understanding kind of what the other comp is built to do, what your comp is built to do, and unfortunately, their comp is just built to kind of murder your comp. It's a very pokey style that is just built around playing those long angles, forcing your opponents into fights that they don't want to take, and we see it right now. Sky getting taken down by the side of Krub, the soldier that is, the soldier for Mount Union. And unfortunately, we're just kind of seeing that. Kiri getting played, taking down a Space Raccoon. And now, when you need a little bit of brawl, that's what you have some of these characters for. And unfortunately, they're just kind of walking all over, like, at least at the start, they're just kind of walking all over BW.
Yeah. For BW, you got to make something shake. This is where, like, you're down by a lot, and most of this has been uncontested.
Yeah. So you need to really start something going, and you need it to start soon. Preferably this fight, which they're grouped up. The TP into the backline is going to be big, and the Nemesis form is going to force a lot of damage onto that Junkrat, trying to confirm it, but the heals are just going to be enough, and unfortunately, that is going to result in the rest of the team dropping. What was a really good idea for a play call, unfortunately, just not coming through.
And I really wonder what changed, because map 1 was so close. Still a win, but so close, and then now it's completely Mountain Union dominated.
It's just the tides have shifted, and now BW, whatever they had before, they just don't quite have it right now. So we need to see something big coming out from this team. It is going to be the Kitsu Rush combined with the Nemesis form is going to allow the Boss Baby and Great Pippin to combine for a lot of big backline damage. But Great Pippin is going to drop, and that's going to also mean Sky drops too. It's a 3v3. But BW down a tank, and now a 3v2, just the supports left alive.
Yeah, and being able to spawn or TP back to spawn essentially is still able to be alive. But look at, like, the robot is already at spawn, so something needs to change, and it has to soon. And with those two ults, definitely can start something.
The ults from Great Pippin getting popped is going to provide massive damage, and it's still staying on the line, giving them so much space, wanting to stagger this out, wanting to get that final kill. Now, they can maybe get the robot back to this middle position, but they are going to get contested a lot faster than they might expect.
Yeah, they need to get at least forward spawn without losing a fight, because if they don't, Mount Union is going to be right back where they were.
Yep, they're going to be able to take that pressure and just instantly flip back to the positioning that they were at. Great Pippin doing a very good job of playing this front line, but that Riptire going to get taken down early. Good, not allowing it to find anything. Now Great Pippin trying for a little bit of backline pressure. Nothing found quite yet, but this High Noon could be massive. It's going to be 3, and it's going to spawn a little bit of a push from BW. They are now up in numbers, trying to get that Kiri out of there, but it's just going to be the Reinhardt trying to solo Plastic T. It will. Now this is where things get a little bit iffy. This is where things get a little bit problematic.
Yeah, this kind of looks like a game of chicken. One's trying to take care of the other while the other's trying to heal one.
Yep. Kiri able to get taken down, and that allows BW to now take back control of the robot. And now Mount Union, because they couldn't get that early pick, they are going to just dip, tuck tail, and run.
Yeah, and run, they are pushing this robot as quickly or as slow as they can, and this is what CSU did, holding these lines, having 1 to 2 people usually one on the robot, and they got a lot of mileage off of it. So BW trying to replicate it, even trying to do it just a bit better.
Yep. And I'm seeing a lot of very good ideas from this squad, at least for how they want to play this. Sky trying to get out, will be able to escape with his life. And that's a great Pippin pop that potentially gets stalled out. He's going to be able to get healed a lot, brought back up to relatively high. Ooh, but that
Even
charge.
Though it hit, I still think that's a benefit for BW because it put the Reinhardt out of position, and now with the Reinhardt down, you can take care of everyone else.
Yep.
Go along with this Juno ult too.
It's going to get BW moving and grooving, and they're able to take out most, if not all, of the Mount Union players that were playing up close, forcing a regroup and a reset out of Mount Union, potentially giving BW those forward spawns, but it is going to be the close.
Yeah, and this Reinhardt kind of still playing out of position, even though the soldier can catch up with them. Everyone else is backing up, and this Rein kind of just trying to force his way in, and it's kind of been biting Mount on this BW push.
Yep, trying to force the issue, trying to see what exactly he can do to Boss Baby getting taken down by the side, and that's the hammer, or that's the...
That hack saves him, though.
Yeah, it was able to, and now the Nemesis form coming out.
And we're just swinging.
Suffrage had tried to keep things alive, but unfortunately it will not. Sky, the last man alive, needs to move around. Unfortunately, will get hit by that steel trap. But the forward spawn means that most of BW should be able to contest this much faster than they would be able to with those standard spawns. It's going to be a little bit of pressure placed onto BW now from those outside Mount Union players, but a lot of damage being piled onto this. Tank is going to do it, and it's also going to force out the ult from Mount Union, but this Kitsu Rush just going to pounce right through it. Lucio, last man alive, getting taken down. Not last man alive, but last man in the play, and that's going to force the rest of Mount Union's players to run.
Yeah, and just kept swinging. Great Pippin did with that Kitsune ult, and just did so much damage. It did so much for them, and now BW once again being able to push this, getting back in the groove. Ever since it went next to their spawn, they've only lost one fight, but it hasn't been on BW's side since.
Yeah, as I say, they've been pushing this back and forth, and they've been growing a little bit, but unfortunately back and forth isn't quite enough, and the massive ult coming out from Sky is actually going to open up the field to a lot of potential damage. Great Pippin now just running around in the back line. He's one of them now.
He is one of ones right now, almost taking out the Ram. Not quite yet, but he has ult, so if he wants to extend, maybe overextend, but still extend nonetheless, it might be the time, especially with somebody on the robot they can capture, and that's a Reinhardt down.
And that's going to be the ult popped for the side of Great Pippin. He's going to force them so far back. They need to push so far ahead, and with only 2 meters left, there's going to be no contest. BW now able to take the lead with 2 minutes remaining, but it's not over yet. They could get this full capture if they were to play their cards just right. It's going to be Space Raccoon now with his ult up. They're going to elect to fall back, especially after a lot of them caught on fire. Space Raccoon getting taken down potentially on an overextend, but still 2 minutes left. Just want to contest this for the time being. You need to make sure that they do not push this all the way back without any sort of fight.
Yeah, you still need to have the mindset of playing this to win, not playing this to not lose. This looked really bad for BW earlier on, just like how this map was earlier. Yeah. But still, finding a way in the back line, that's one. Going for a second one, and is able to get it with the Nemesis.
Finding the second and the third! And he's able to apply pressure now onto the hatch. It's going to be a fourth. And the fifth man getting hunted down, getting brought to his knees, and that's 1 minute remaining. Great Pippin pushing very far up, trying to apply as much pressure as he can, as soon as he can, forcing.
And now 60 seconds remaining. Mount Union, they were in the situation that BW was. They have to start winning these fights if they want to change these tides. Great job taking that ult, though, so the rest of the team doesn't have to deal with it.
And now they're just playing this first corner. They're playing the position that they need to. Space Raccoon is going to be back, still with that High Noon in pocket. Now might be just the time. It's going to be that Shatter catching 2, 3 actually. Going to be the death of 2 BW players. And now Great Pippin trying to do what he can. Yeah. He's going to get taken down. And now BW, sure, it may be on their half. They may be forced into a little bit of an awkward fight, but They still have time. 15 seconds left means it is going to be an OT. You need to win one team fight.
And that is it.
Yeah, and you win this game.
And you have the ult economy by a country mile
You
at
have
this point, too.
3, an instant rip right here could seal their fate, and we're going to see exactly that. The Kitsu rush, and it's going to be the Nemesis form. Finds one, going to dive onto the back line, finds 2, finds the 3rd, finds the 4th. Last man alive is only going to be the tank. It's actually going to be the tank and Bob. I didn't even see the Ash swap coming out, but Bob is offline. 1 man left, and it's just this Ryan. And he's getting ducked, dodged, dipped, and dived all over. It's BW taking the lead back 2-1.
Ooh, baby. Fighting tooth and nail, not giving up, even though they were down by so much in the beginning. Great Pippin, along with the rest of BW, Sky, DeBoss Baby, just everyone, especially this play right here, getting the second with that one, and then going directly for the support, and then just taking out the pylon, along with doing a lot of damage and killing the Ramatra. That is what you need.
That is the players you need. Those are the moments that you need. And now BW has a lead in the series. They're back up 2-1. They no longer have to battle. Well, actually, no, that was the same as how they were in the Heidelberg series. Never mind, I lied. But they're up 2-1. They have the opportunity to close this out. But Mount Union has their pick. They have their way with whatever map they want. So now it's really going to be about how does BW play into whatever is next.
Yeah, and now Mountain Union, they have their back against the wall. How are they going to do? Are they going to crumble or are they going to push through? That is going to be the big question as we wait for bans, as we wait for characters. Just got to imagine what those players are thinking, because if you're Mountain Union, you know this is crucial. And it looks like the Boss Baby says that they're taking a 5-minute break, so it's such a crucial moment. They need 5 minutes on it.
They need some time to think and some time to wait. Some people need to pee, of course.
Of course.
We're also going to take a break with that. But when we're back, again, BW leads 2-1 up against Mount Union in this best of 5 series. It's win or go home.
Stay
and those
tuned.
Those actions will continue. Stay tuned. Map number 4, baby. It's been going for a while, and we are still here, still kicking. We've got ourselves a Clash taking us over to Eichenwald, another hybrid map. My best guess for this selection is Mount Union wanting to keep the hybrids rolling.
Yeah,
just because of how good they were last time.
Like, just beat, or Mount Union has been really good on Eichenwald. I mean, has been really good on hybrid. So taking it to Eichenwald, another hybrid map. I wonder if that's just their, like, we were talking about comfort picks before. I wonder if it's just a comfort
mode.
Yeah. Like, we are only there for we only do a hybrid. A hybrid is our thing. If we win anything else, we're happy about it.
Yep. Well, either way, interesting character selections being forced coming into this map. It was Juno and Soldier both being banned. Both characters that, well, Soldier can really take advantage of the longer sight lines. Juno just a healer that provides so much coverage.
Yeah, Juno can do so much, especially in this meta.
But it's going to put Boss Baby back onto the Moira role that we've seen him do a ton of great damage on. Sky going to be playing that Sim this time instead. I would not be surprised if we saw a fair swap over at some point.
I'm really interested in Mount Union's lineup, not to interrupt, but
actually, yeah,
the Ramatra, the Ramatra's the one that we've seen the most. Like, Ana, we haven't seen much this season, Ashe either, and just like, it's a really odd comp. So this just has to be straight up just they're just so comfortable with it, and this is the comp that they run. And if you're not used to a strategy, I believe this would be like maybe even a poke strategy. Like, it can just kind of run you over like we're seeing right now, actually.
Yep. This is a very poke brawl mixture that we're seeing come out, because you have the hard poke agents of stuff like that Ana, stuff like that Ashe, even as technically stuff like that Zen. But when it comes to getting up close and personal, Ram, there is no better there is no alternative other than like Junk, which they also have.
Yeah.
So it's meant to kind of, at least the way that I'm reading it, it's meant to close distance, which something like Eichenwald has a lot of long distance that, you know, might be a very big thing coming into this series.
Yeah, like this series, this has already been an interesting series, but when it comes to hybrid, it has been really a 50-50, and that was just so quick taking them out. BW, once they figure out this hybrid, it should be curtains for Mount Union.
Yeah, but Mount, they've just got such a good pressure, such a good control on how they play hybrid that BW, they're struggling. Again, they can put a little bit of they can put a little bit of stall up here and there, but they struggle to truly close things out.
And then targeting after the Zen does go down. So what are they going to do with one less support?
This could be the go button that we've really needed to see from BW. However, that Ana is doing exactly what we talked about, and the reason that you would want to ban that Ana early, it's providing so much pressure. However, Sky and Great Pippin able to combine, get some more picks, and able to keep things rolling now, actually take control back and start to provide some sort of pushback on this payload.
Yeah, and with that, that is just going to be the big thing is more time wasted on that clock. Now for Mount Union, they have to try to figure out how to get back to their zone, because it looks like when it comes to the long range, it really favors BW. They don't get to do much work, or Mount Union doesn't get to do much work unless it becomes that mid-range, close-range fight.
Yeah, but BW, they're playing their positions perfectly, and the overextend is perfect, going just beyond when the Zen ult was popped, nullifying essentially the entire purpose of it. Now, it wasn't good for this early push-up. The Ashe pop coming out from Mount Union able to provide a lot of pressure, but BW, they're just playing around it perfectly. And now they've found the opening. They know exactly what they need to do. And they're doing it flawlessly, providing a lot of pushback, actually taking control of this very long range that I felt that they would have a lot of damage with. I want to know what happened with that Bob, because I heard it caught in, but it meant nothing. I don't know if it like went off the map early or what.
All I heard was after that was the Sky's ult go off. So what I'm thinking is maybe the Bob went so far that Sky popped ult and it only shot the wall.
I see. That might actually have been the case.
Which would be a phenomenal play, by the way.
It would be an insane heads-up moment.
Speaking of heads-up moment, there's definitely a reason for concern with that. That Ramatra ult just doing a lot of damage, and another one taken down with that, so going to back up. I don't think you should give them wall at this point.
Depending on how fast your players get back, you might be able to do a last-second pop-out, especially with something like Nemesis form when you know 3 are on hill. The only issue with that is just kind of getting your players out, but Space Raccoon here in the corner could end up providing a massive high noon, and it's going to get popped. It's going to provide damage on the Ram. In that, gets popped.
It's so funny because I'm like, I don't even think the Ram ever saw him,
No.
but because his just natural movement of getting in that cinder block, he was like, can you just like scoot a bit to the left for me? There it is.
Hey, it's the hey, can you move a little bit? Like, sorry.
No.
Oh, let me squeeze right past you. Nah. But no. A great stall out, not letting Mount Union get that extender on the time, and a minute 20 left. Or what'll be functionally a minute 20 left. The Czar swap over now could provide big damage, but it's just getting melted. It's just getting laid out.
Not taking the life, but still a whole lot of damage on him.
Yeah. Forcing so much respect and the stun into the shot. The shots weren't perfect, but they're going to start being, let's say, Space Raccoon with this potentially flank drop. The midair roll going to keep him on this high ground and going to keep his pressure. And well, Great Pippin able to push up with Sky and keep the pressure on Mount Union.
Yeah, and I know Sky started practicing Genji very late into the season, but still already seeing the fruits of the labor with that.
Already seeing a lot of pressure coming out from that Genji. It's a very good free-flowy character from what I've seen him play of it so far. Again, most of it being today. It's been putting a lot of very, very good work in.
And now, like, switching to Winston, going to a significantly more backline style. They're even behind where the objective is, going straight at the squishies.
Yep.
And that is going to be Sky dropping, and that is going to be Great Pippin sleeping, so going after the rest of the team. And then teleporting straight to Great Pippin, and that is going to be 1. So about even numbers. BW is down, but not out yet.
The Kitsu Rush providing a lot of good pressure for BW, and Great Pippin doing his best to stay alive, popping that Nemesis form where he needs to, giving him that extra health, but being brought all the way down. He is going to be forced into dropping in this OT. BW is going to look to, at least right now, look to respect it, get their players back up, and it looks like they are going to be playing for this break. But Space Raccoon, he has this early pressure. He has the ult when it is necessary.
Yeah, I don't like this.
I mean, the stall could end up being a problem. Great Pippin now last man alive on point. I was going to say, if he's able to get his ult, he might be able to make a better argument for it. However, now with that getting popped, it is going to be BW now protecting the last area. 1:19 is the time that Mount Union has to get around this area, and we have the Great Pippin ult in pocket. We have the Boss Baby ult as well, and we're closing in on everybody else's.
Yeah, and this should be where you close it out if you're BW. You gave that last point. Now you just need to not make any more mistakes. You need to win this fight, get them off the payload as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And this Winston left out in the dust, he's going to still be getting a little bit of code, but that's actually going to be a massive overstep by Great Pippin, something that we haven't seen him do a lot. We've seen a lot of those work out, and it's going to force out a back rotate for BW. What was looking like such a promising round might be crumbling at the very end.
Yeah, this Winston switch, like, really has been having the same effect as the comfort switch, just, and then the sleeve preventing the ult, but then getting the ult now, one support down, trying to get more, getting the Junkrat as well, and then getting the Soldier while still getting back on point to make sure that the point does not move.
Yep.
And then the Winston low, but jumping out of there.
Left to Great Pippin and Sky for the time being. The Death Blossom could be massive here for this final clear out, but it is going to be burned. Getting that final pick, 3 seconds left. They're going to be scrambling, but they will not have a touch. BW has a win condition and the ability to fully take this out. They simply need to full cap, or essentially full cap.
Yeah.
It's not quite full, but it is.
That's that. Yeah.
It might as well be.
Yeah, it's just pretty much like do what Mount Union did, but like put a pinky toe on the line.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
It was so close. Great job by BW making it only 2-0 instead of 3-0,
Yeah.
but still.
A lot of good heads-up plays with the, what do you call it? With the alt economy being used there when things were gathered, instantly being popped, allowing your players to really just, you know, apply as much pressure as they can, which was really necessary for them. And we're going to be seeing a slight swap. It's going to be the CVS coming out for the side of BW, at least on this initial attack. I think this is the reason why we didn't see Sky go Pharah in the last comp, because we lacked the Juno. There wasn't like a healer that could really keep up.
So yeah, with this, like the CVS obviously attacking the high point, and on the other side they do have one person that could shoot them down with
They
the
have
Ash.
2.
Yeah,
Ash and the Ana.
Yeah, but other than that, like Drunkrat's going to struggle a lot. Winston, with insane plays involved, can.
Yep.
But it's still going to have to be played very well.
Yes. And we're going to see that instant pressure coming out here. And we already see Sky going up and above, trying to apply some pressure. Great Pippin going to be dropping early, and that is going to force the fallback here.
Yeah, and with this, like, even though you lost the early fight, it's still the same thing of like, you just need to keep winning. You don't need to cap it at a certain speed. You just need to cap all of it. And Sky getting the highest of high ground, getting taken down by a headshot.
Yeah. Gonna get rezzed up by Plastic T, bringing him back into this fight, bringing him back to this front line. And now this wall might be a way for BW to start their aggression forward. And Great Pippin, he's found some starts. He's able to get Suzud, gets that anti off of him, and now can potentially start another push forward.
And then still just holding on to these 2 angles. Mount Union really has been doing well of just like holding specific angles. And it's so odd because like watching Mount really is just kind of like they like sometimes they get rolled or they do a bit worse than you think, and then other times they just insanely roll.
Yeah, they just
like
show
it's kind
up.
of watching BW, especially like the beginning of the season, like their flashes, but their flashes are extreme peaks compared to like the minor flashes we saw with BW.
A lot of alts getting ripped there. Mount Union staying in the advantage state here, and now fully in that advantage state as everybody else dies. BW now having that crack, but it's not going to be enough, and this is going to be the swap called. Sky sticking on that Pharah, but Plastic T into Boss Baby trading back to what we would expect them to be more healers that we would expect them to be on more.
Yeah.
Great Pippin leading that charge, gonna have the Winston popping his bubble on him, but is now going to have to fall back, have to join up with the rest of his team. Yeah, Bob doing great work. Unfortunately, low time, only 1:37 left on the clock for BW. This may just be another game of you played defense well, but unfortunately, Hybrid is just Mount Union's map.
Yeah.
Hybrid is just Mount Union's style.
Just Hybrid, I mean, Mount Union on defense has just looked like a completely different beast.
Yeah, they on defense, they have just played this style to lock down. But Great Pippin now put into a boiler, getting brought back and forth all around. The double kill from Sky is going to be able to get at least something rolling, but unfortunately Great Pippin, his ult finding so little value, and the Primal Rage coming out from the Winston, able to provide a lot of pressure.
Yeah, is able to sneak the Ana kill though, so even though this is essentially a distraction at this point, BW should have this point.
They're able to force them back, able to keep control of it, and potentially utilizing those abilities, utilizing that pressure that they have, able to get the payload online. Now, it is going to need to be, again, essentially a full cap. It's going to
And
be very
we
close.
saw this with the push map. BW, they can do it. Also, that map has just been weird.
Oh, we got to pause. I think a tech issue getting popped up.
So
We'll see exactly what it is. We see.
I forgot.
Well,
We already did a hybrid.
yeah.
Can we just play it out?
I honestly forget what the rules are. This might be legal. I think it's any mode, but I don't know if you can. I know you can't repeat maps. I don't know if you can repeat modes. That's my thing. As I say, we'll have to wait and see.
I didn't even know you switched the camera back onto us.
Yeah, I just did. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like, just now. I was gonna say we'll have to wait and see exactly what the Gleck rulebook states on this.
We can still play it out per chance since you guys are doing. Cool.
I mean, it looks like we might be just getting straight back into it.
Yeah. I still feel like that just like ruins the flow for BW. If anything, like they were just figuring out this push.
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Yep,
But we
we're
are just gonna
jumping
get
right
straight
into
back
it.
into it. A little bit of a misunderstanding of the rules is gonna bring us back into the map here. And now, as I say, Great Pippin pushed up close, really trying to get something going. Getting antied now, moving around, having to outplay that timing now. Both support alts online, getting pretty close to the tank alt. But that Ko.
Yeah, this Winston now with nano boost, just doing a whole lot of damage, not able to take anyone out, but once again being a deterrent, being like Wrecking Ball that we've seen just on other teams. But this Kitsune Ramatra has been doing so much, getting so much mileage out of it.
It's absolutely been the factor for BW, able to get them so much value, able to get them so many extra picks and force so much util out of these opposing teams. And Great Pippin, he's going to try to keep it online, but he will eventually have to fall. And unfortunately, with the tank of Mount Union still online, it's just going to be too much for the remaining BW players to overcome. They now need to reset, regroup, and re-roll whatever they want, however they want to approach.
Because they've won that, because they've won so many fights before that, they still also have time because this was an overtime scenario at the other part of the map.
They have the ability to play this for a little bit longer. They're going to see that. I believe that is the sleep coming out early, but that is going to be Winston up and on top.
Yep,
Primal Rage coming out
again. I think the biggest difference between how Mount Union has used ults and Heidelberg's ults has been this Winston. This Winston used the ult this Winston uses ult, honestly, whenever he feels like he needs to, versus with Heidelberg, they would save their Winston ult specifically until Ramatra ulted to get the most mileage out of it and to essentially cancel out Ramatra's ult against Winston.
Yeah, it provided a lot of good value here and there. It was used as like either a cancel or an instant response card. But unfortunately here, Mount Union's play, it's just been finding a lot more value, at least from what I've been seeing. And 40 seconds left for BW to push. Almost certainly going to go to an OT if they want to get this first point. But the Junkrat dropping, I think just falling off the side of the map.
Hey, we take those.
Yeah.
Sky just slowly but surely approaching, and the Winston coming in to say hello, getting out of there though.
Sopping up some of that. Alts online for 4 of the 5. Great Pippin online, or Great Pippins getting used right now, trying to stay alive against this Ashe, but the Bob will be able to confirm, and now applying more and more pressure, especially from a distance. Bob's still online, still sitting there, and nobody's dealt with him. And we're going to map 5.
Map number 5. We can't have a normal series. We've been up 2-1 on both of these.
We've been so
I love
close.
this intro, by the way.
It is so good. But now, map number 5. We know for a fact what it isn't going to be. It's not
It's
hybrid.
not hybrid.
Because they can win everything but hybrid.
That was a crazy shot.
That was a really good shot. I will not lie.
We do give
Our
props.
table!
It's broken.
It's broken! But yeah, so again, keeping things rolling and running here. Map number 5. It's going to be a big task for both these teams to overcome.
That one's not running.
No matter what they choose to do. So, we need to see exactly what the game plan for both these teams is going to be coming into our grands. Coming into what will be the final map of this series. Whatever team chooses to pick, whatever BW chooses to pick will really set the tide for our final.
Yeah, and I think like for BW, I won't say unfortunately for us because it was really entertaining even though we were clipping through walls, but I think Flashpoint is something that we should
go to.
Yep.
As we pick Servasa.
Yep. I just have that timing, you know?
Yep.
And they banned Junkrat really just like that Junkrat. I don't want to say it's a one trick, but that Junkrat just alone has been doing a whole lot of damage. So
I'm a little surprised, and so I'm going to check on it to see if it has. Oh, wait, hold on. One of them is going to use the restroom, so we're going to have another little bit of a delay.
I'm getting nervous. Well, we're also nervous, but yeah, I don't think it's been banned at all throughout this entire thing.
Well, I was thinking more Ash. Just because of kind of the pressure that Ash was applying the last map, the Bob was getting a lot of value, and especially with something like the what do you call it? What's the word? Fly character,
yeah.
Pharah. She was anti-ing Pharah so much, and it like just really kind of forced Sky into a playstyle that it felt like he wasn't as comfortable or either didn't want to really play on, you know? So it just like it worked.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that we didn't ban that. I felt like the Junkrat was getting some value, but just not as much.
I think the issue would be, I mean, I think the reason is going to be of like Riptire, and along with that, like you can overwhelm Ash up close.
That is true.
More than you could probably overwhelm Junkrat, because if you're up close with Junkrat's like, okay, but like
hey,
with Ash,
here's this plastic explosive. Like
I have a present for you. And
it's
like,
a bomb.
Ash has like a get out of jail card, but like once.
Yeah.
Compared to just Junkrat having bombs everywhere.
It's also not even really a get out of jail free card. It'll move you out of the way, but you like if you have somebody who's playing a hit scan, like we've seen Space Raccoon really playing very well.
Yeah.
You move yourself into a very situation where you can very easily get picked. So
yeah, it's a get out of jail card, but it's definitely not free.
Nope. I say that thing definitely has at least some costs to it.
Yeah, with that, we're probably going to take a short break. So, game 5.
Map 5.
BW wins, they're in playoff. If Mountain Union wins, they have better positioning. Who will win? You'll find out in a bit.
Stay tuned.
See you soon.
As we said, and we're getting into it right now, map number 5, BW Mount Union. Suravasa will be the battleground for our final clash here. Flashpoint, the mode, which we saw BW do very well in last round, or at least we did our best seeing it. And what we're going to see is a very similar, although not the exact same comp coming out. Obviously, Kiriko getting banned here before the match, as was Junkrat, meaning that for the side of Mount Union, their Junk player now forced onto Sojourn, but a very similar and standard comp coming out here for BW. Support line of the Moira and the Juno, DPS of Cass and Bastion, and the ever indomitable Ramatra.
Indomitable mechanic spirit.
Yes.
Machine spirit.
Leading the charge here as we get into number 1 of this flashpoint. The point will unlock in 10 seconds, but already this could be a potential dive. BW electing not to go for it, electing to stay, hold their ground, and wait for everything to pop, waiting to push.
I think that even shows discipline, because like if BW bites on every single dive opportunity they can, Mount Union can start trying to feint those.
But it is going to be Plastic T able to get one. DeBoss Baby trading them out, providing a lot of great damage and forcing Mount Union off into a regroup and a restructure as they have to wait for their tank and one of their deeps to get back if they really want to make a dent in this point.
Now, like with this point, I do like this comp again. The Bastion on this map has done work before, but the thing is, just it being the secondary tank can do so much.
The main thing, they're going to focus on this solo DPS, maybe giving Mount Union a little bit of time to run, but it's actually going to be Great Pippin jumping down. Sky going to get taken out by this Czar. And now Czar, bubble, low on time. It's going to be Mount Union able to capture it, but the step back on 4BW going to force Mount Union at least back, forcing them to respect. Great Pippin trying to play in a little bit of damage, but the Nano is going to be on to the Czar, forcing BW back, forcing them to respect.
Yeah, and that's much better than just losing your life. I mean, losing the life, just letting them get more takes. You guys got 65 on 1, and with that ult 2 going to do a whole lot of damage, not taking anyone out. As I say, that takes out 2 essentially.
I was going to say, able to get 1 and gets enough damage to get the second. Sky going to clean up with the kill. Great Pippin finding the opener, and that's BW back in control on this point. 70% is going to be the name of the game. Space Raccoon getting taken down by this Cass. Great Pippin able to trade.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse, because like that Cash shouldn't have been too much of a problem, but still fighting back, able to just get that 1 kill and even potentially 2.
Mount Union having to make their last stand on this point, able to actually get in, but the Nemesis form in the backline is going to provide a lot of damage. It's going to let Sky get that first pick. DeBoss Baby getting taken out as well, and this the Bastion ult coming out, going to get some damage onto that Czar.
Oh, I just realized what you almost said.
Now low, killed, down.
Not quite yet on point, going to be taken out, and this is going to be a Mount Union point that can be a crucial turn of this point.
Yep. Again, BW with at least an ult in the back pocket. Great Pippin's Nemesis form could provide a lot of damage, but if Mount Union elects to burn this Erie ult here, this could provide a lot of problems for BW, potentially forcing them to give up this first point if things were to go that direction. But it is going to be the push called. It's going to be the Erie ult ripped here, looking for something. But Great Pippin on site, going to be popping the Nemesis form late, actually, able to get the first and able to provide massive damage onto the Czar. Finds the second. No Mount Union players close enough to contest, and it's going to be BW taking the first and canceling the overcharge.
That is going to be huge, and starting with a team kill to end that first point. BW had the big lead, but now ending 199.
Yeah, but such, whether it's a fat finger or an attempt at a hero play, such a miscall from Mount Union's Sojourn player.
Yeah, that was a huge misplay by Arcane Exium.
Yeah, that could really, like, because that puts him at full reset. You got no value from that, so you can't even start building a new one until now. And BW, they have their 2 support alts up. Obviously, this black hole going to provide a little bit of damage, but it's only going to be a 1-for-1. And Cesar Kun going to try to provide more, going to get taken down, and unfortunately, the combination of angles taken by Mount Union will force BW back, force them into a regroup. But still, having those 2 support alts in the back pocket, having an offensive alt as well, just right around the corner, could really do a lot of damage from this line. And it looks like...
And once they start coordinating these, like this lead that Mountain Union has may seem minuscule when it comes to, after using this ult, finally going in off of it too. That is going to be the Juno ult.
Juno ult getting ripped, and we know with Nemesis form what this can do, and it is also going to be the nades coming out, going to try to finish off some people, back and forth trades. It's actually a little bit favoring Mount Union, but now, things aren't quite even. It's just the 2 supports of BW. Providing some damage, but they are going to have to give, are going to have to respect. Unfortunately, the ult's being burned into something that ended up not mattering. And now BW, they might have the touch. It's going to be very, very tight if they wish to.
Yeah.
It's looking like Sky electing to take the high angle. Space Raccoon getting dropped. Great Pippin in the line, but no one to support, just getting taken from every angle.
And then that is going to be Sunstruck as well, but gets taken down and able to heal it off.
Yeah. Ends up not mattering. The sleep getting wasted on Plastic T on the Juno now is going to allow the Great Pippin to run wild in this section, able to get the capture. They will not go down quietly. They will make Mount Union fight for it.
We cannot have a 100-0. We have to make everything close.
We have to fight back.
That's the BW mantra.
It's the name of the game.
And 92 on to Great Pippin for ult economy, and his ult is the highest right now, with BW being behind in the ult economy after that, but still first ult is going to go in their favor. Yep. So maybe if another, not like you're betting on a misplay, but if another misplay happens, BW can capitalize on it.
Yep. Great Pippin was looking for some sort of backline, but now just going to melt out the Zarya, stall out a lot of the play that Mount Union may have gone for, and now he's going to really just start chasing, not looking to rip his ult, but just looking to make absolute chaos here in this opening. And that keeps BW in the play. 80% now. This ult might not even be necessary. They might even be able to take this, a reversal for the ages if things were to close out.
And
Great Pippin
without using ult.
Yeah, he's close, he's close. He's gonna use that, and he's gonna rip the ult. But it's gonna be the capture anyway. There was no stall. It wasn't fast enough. Great Pippin now looking to get anything more out of his ult. He's able to go 1-for-1 and stall out. Oh, it looks like Nano getting used there as well.
Yep.
A lot of ults getting utilized on things that ended up not mattering. But now both teams forced into a long, long rotate.
And because essentially those didn't matter, other than the three that Mountain Union's going to have on BW's side, we have one at 83 and we have one on 75 on top of our own as well. So this can be essentially an even 3-3 ult.
Yep, things are going to be very tight moving into this next clash. And it looks like both teams are actually going to be arriving at about the same time. Both them taking rotates that ended up taking similar length. It is going to be the Bastion ult of BW really trying to get some value. It's going to be
Space Raccoon.
He's finding the value, and now there he goes. Great Pippin on the Nemesis form, able to find one, able to push them back and give BW the point as they now fall back to their positions and play their defense out.
And now, once again, like the last map for the last game 5, this one BW 3-0'd, and it looks like they are wanting to do the same.
Yes, series point, qualification point to a certain extent. BW now on the line looking for something. It's Mount Union's ult getting burned here, going for the Bastion, but it will not connect. Plastic T now playing, the heal game, rips the Juno ult, and what that means, Great Pippin, Nemesis form online, looking for something. It's going to be the first. The Ram of Mount Union getting absolutely melted. Anna down. It's the full push out. The High Noon getting burnt as well. It won't even matter. And with the Coalescence in back pocket means that an attempt to touch will be, it'll be contested.
Yeah, it will be an uphill battle from here.
Yeah.
And it looks like there is going to be ball play. Another sleep snipe by Matt, but not going to be able to be enough as he gets taken down.
Yeah.
And just everything being melted into everyone that
All
they
getting
see.
melted. The Erie melts. It's game. It's time. A long time coming. We have waited for the resurgence of BW Overwatch. And now, in the dying hours when it was needed most, they've stepped up to the plate and proven themselves worthy of their position and their place within the Erie division.
And once again, like, these players have fought through adversity, not only today, both of their wins being Game 5, but throughout this season. Character lineup swaps, bad games, players being sick. No matter what, this team has scratched, crawled, and fought their way to now land.
Instability is the name of the game, but so is adversity. And that's exactly what we look for within these players, and that's what we've seen all throughout today. Essentially back-to-back Game 5s
There was a CSU game in there,
There was the
too,
CSU game in there, obviously. But Game 5s, both 2-1 leads, dropped at the last second to get us to a Game 5, and dominance within Flashpoint shown by these players. I don't think you could ask for anything better.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad at the scriptwriters for copying and pasting the same script twice.
I mean,
but
yeah, but like, listen,
a win's a win.
A win is a win,
And
and
it was
that's
stressful.
what matters, dude.
We had content.
It takes a lot of time, but it's good and it's great to see. As I say, this may be the end of the stream. I'm going to go check on something real fast. I will be right back. Unfortunately, it will be no post game from any of the players. We're letting them savor the victory. We're letting them savor all the hard work that's been put in this season to really take it across the line. And that yelling also means that BW just beat Mount Union in
I almost said
Smash.
baseball.
In baseball.
Yep.
Baseball, baby. Let's go, let's go,
Baseball
let's go.
season, let's go.
But so what that means is that BW in both games, in both titles, has now mirrored itself, taking down, well, actually with exactly mirrored scores. That's crazy. Boom, 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 boom. That's wild.
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
Oh
yeah.
Both these were sweeps. This one wasn't. These two were game
game
fives.
fives and
This
that
one
one-
was
yeah.
wasn't. That's crazy. But either way, great set of games. A great showing for the first Lake Erie Clash here up in Berea, Ohio. It's been a pleasure to bring this all to you. Full
Sure has.
day of games, a full day of emotions, truly showing what this is meant to be. And this won't be the end, I believe, of either of these teams. Again, I'm pretty sure Overwatch qualified to land with this. I would have to check to make sure, but I believe they did. And with that, with those wins, that means that you'll be seeing both these teams competing in the Great Lakes Esports Conference in that regional we have coming in, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
And both of these teams, that means they get to travel. And that's
They get to go to South Bend, Indiana. Let's go, baby! Not at 4 a.m. again, because that was awful. Yeah, but
interesting.
this
But
also
anyways,
means won't be the last to hear of us.
Sure won't.
Because listen, A, we've got ESO next week, so we're going to be locked in this room. And B, we should be taking the travel down. I'm
Yep.
really hoping. I think we will be able to. Obviously, I got to reconfirm with Jake just to make sure that we're
Yeah,
all good.
Jake essentially, I was like, "Am I forced to go?" And he's like, do they need commentators?" I'm like, "I will go."
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I was gonna say we'll both be down there. So hey, if you want to catch us, I don't know, man. I might be able to get Jake to make a post about us going live on some set on commentary here and there. But hey, we'll have to see what happens. It's gonna be a time till then.
yeah, and before that, or until then, just next week we have Valorant playoffs.
Yeah. We've also got Call of Duty, but they aren't.
I'm kidding. Call of Duty team is great, and
Well, I mean, they got CCL too, so
Yeah,
they're
they're
going to be
they're
competing in the
CCL.
big leagues.
yeah, and yeah, so this is playoff season. This is the season where you step up, and show out. BW, Overwatch, as you guys saw,
They did it. They did it.
And BW Smash, they put up a fight in every single game that they did. So they did their best as well. And all we have is Valorant and COD, and season rolls on.
Yeah. So those games will be happening on Wednesday. If you want to tune in, Call of Duty playing for their potential to go to LAN. BW Valorant obviously playing for their potential to stay alive in NACE. After that, next weekend is going to be ESO, so we're going to be hosting the best that high school esports in the Northeastern Ohio region has to offer. We're going to have some Smash and some Overwatch Day 1, Valorant and Rocket League Day 2.
Yes,
Should be
sir.
a great set of games, should be a great set of matches, a lot of great stuff that we have planned for you all. So again, make sure to stop on by. We've always got great stuff going on here at BW, and we're excited to bring you more. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure bringing you these games today. You got anything you want to say?
Once again, I'm LT Barone,
Hey everybody, I'm Error.
and we'll see you next time.
Peace.